we go. We are on. We are live. This is exciting.
This is exciting.
You know, normally, hi, I'm John Pizzarelli, and thanks for joining me this evening.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thanks for joining me this evening. It's our album release party. Usually, we're in a club somewhere, and we got lots of records and everything, and everybody gets together, and we do our little bit, and we all go out and have a beer afterwards and say, wow, it's the first day of a new record, which is always exciting. And this is particularly exciting.
Your first solo guitar album.
First solo guitar album. It's on the Ghostlight label. The album, Better Days Ahead, which is a solo guitar takes on Pat Metheny, is available to stream or download now at all digital music outlets. And just for those of you who are wondering, the CD will be available for purchase next week at all major online music retailers.
You mean the hard copy?
Yeah, and more information will be coming on, you'll see that on my socials as we move along. And also, next week, Hal Leonard is releasing a note-by-note tablature of my phase dance solo from the album, and we'll post that as soon as that's available. So that'll probably be on Monday. And I'd like to thank Jeff Schradel at Hal Leonard for doing all that. In the meantime, I'm going to play a couple of things from the album. We'll take some questions along the way. We usually do this on Thursday nights. Jessica Molaski, my wife, and the gluten-free singer, is just manning one of the outlets there. And if you have any questions along the way, we'll do that. But in the meantime, I'll play you some music.
I'm manning the Facebook.
She's manning the Facebook for now. So a couple of Pat Metheny tunes for you tonight, and it's great to have a record out. So here's Better Days Ahead, the title track.
now you got to
Then
play
I
it.
gotta play it.
Wow, that's really hard. That's
Better
really
Days
great.
Ahead, the title track from the new album. It's an album that I made right here in this cabin. If you go around that way, there's a little room in the back with gingham bed sheets. My daughter's room when she was a little girl. She used to sleep on that bed. And I was actually posting some of these things on Instagram, these solos. And my friend Rick Hayden, God bless him, he said, "Wait a second, man." He goes, "No more posting. You got to record this record." And I was like, "Well, I don't know how to do it." Well, he talked me through it. We got on FaceTime, and I was like, "Where do I plug it in?" My friend Brian Saunders sent me his iRig, and you just plugged it into the iPad, and we recorded an album. I would record it here and then send it to Rick in Illinois, and Rick would zhuzh it up and say, "Is this how you liked it?" And I said, "Yes." And so,
And just so everybody knows, you're completely acoustic.
completely
There's no
acoustic.
microphones, there's no plug-in, and
Yes,
so we're just using an iPhone.
at no time will my hands leave my body. But yes, this is just an acoustic 7-string guitar. Here's the regular guitar and a low A. And that's all it was. This small classical guitar just plugged into the iPad.
So
questions?
yeah, what people want to know, why Metheny? What makes him so special to you?
Well, Pat Metheny's been a hero of mine since I was 16. Actually, a buddy of mine, Bob Hufford, made me a cassette of his White album with Phase Dance and everything. I'm actually going to play a couple of those things next. And I took that to the University of Tampa and listened to that record, and I thought, it's not just the songs, but the solos themselves are compositions. It's just so lyrical and amazing, and the compositions were fantastic. And then so I was just on the Pat Metheny ride. And, one of the great jazz guitarists of our generation, or of any generation, and also one of the great composers of any generation. He's sort of I like to think of him as a modern day Aaron Copland even, but he has his own voice and has just even written 2 pieces for classical guitar, The Road to the Sky, Road to the Sun. The Los Angeles Guitar Quartet and Jason Vio each recorded their own. One is just a solo guitar piece and one for 4 guitars, the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet. It's stunning, as is the album From This Place. I mean, all the records have something amazing to offer. And it wasn't just for me, my father's repertoire, because my father played that repertoire for me. And it was like sort of, even when he was in rehab and I'd go in and start to go, I'm thinking, here's a sick man who's listening to me play his arrangements for him. And he's wondering, am I going to get better? I got to get better because this kid's playing all of my arrangements for me and not as good. So Pat Metheny presented that challenge to me to learn all those songs. And Better Days Ahead was one of the first ones that I learned. And these next 2 are from the White album. This is April Wind, which is the back half of April Joy. But the lead sheet says April Wind and Phase Dance. I hope you enjoy them.
That just made me cry. Yours, it's like a one-man band, you know? And I don't know if everybody understands completely that you have a 7-string guitar and that you're able to play the bass with yourself.
Yeah, well, I have this low note here, so especially on that song, Phase Dance, you know, you just hear. It's harder to play there, so I put it in the other key, and this bass note. So I get the F sharp up here too. So it allows me to move the formations around on the guitar a little bit, so that I can get those kinds of which was Lyle Mays was doing on the auto harp in a sense. You know,
Somebody just said that you were able to duplicate the sound of the auto harp.
So
Helen Wheelock wants to know what was the most challenging piece that you to master.
you know, I think each song has its own little predicament, and for this, what I just played, finding the right key for that, and getting those that you know that those each song has its own challenge. You know, Better Days Ahead. You know, you're trying to play things that guys were singing,
right,
and the whole band was playing, and find those kind of things. So every song, that was the beauty of the piece, the whole record, was finding all those little things in there that made it exciting.
So you're not only playing Pat's part, you're playing the keyboard part.
Yeah, there's a part in
percussion part.
There's a part in September 15th where, you know, Pat's going. There it is. And then Lyle's got to play boo boo, boo doo doo, and I had to go. I had to find a way to play that melody inside of Pat's rhythmic guitar part. So that was another something that was out there. So if you're just tuning in, I'm John Pizzarelli, and this is the record day. It's release day, as they say.
Whoop, whoop, we're having a party.
The record's called Better Days Ahead. It's available to stream or download now at all digital music outlets. And the CD will be available for purchase next week at all major online music retailers. More information will be coming on that on my socials. And, you know, once we go back out in September, hopefully, we'll have, you know, product too. So you can download it now and listen to it, and then maybe come see me. You buy the record again, which would be fabulous, and I'll sign it for you, and we'll talk. And remember, next week, Hal Leonard will release the note-by-note tablature of Phase Dance that I just played.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. And it comes with its own 7-string guitar. So anyway, I did mention Rick Hayden. How are we doing on time? Everything's good, right?
We are 20 after.
Oh, great. No, everything's fine. My dear friend Rick Hayden, I couldn't have done this without him. He was such a positive force, a great friend, and he suggested how he says Antonia. I would say Antonia, but it doesn't matter. It's such a great song, and I'm going to play this one for Rick now. I believe it may have been written for the Montreal Jazz Festival, the ballet up there. I think it might have been part of a ballet that Pat was writing for. So anyway, here is Antonia. Yeah.
That's just stunning.
Oh, thank
I
you.
mean, that's just like a new kind of classical music, isn't it?
Yeah, it's everything.
Classical guitar.
You know, it's beautiful that he wrote that piece. But then he had that section in the back where he allowed himself to blow on the tune. So he added that little, and then he opened that up to blow single note on that, and I played more of chordal. My approach to the record was also to think of it as a George Van Epps kind of idea, play these chord solos on there, because I wasn't going to play better single note than Pat. So
Right.
we came up with this idea that find little places to play chord solos, like I did on, well, you'll hear on the record on James, or on that one. Phase Dance 2, I was playing that little.
Everybody seems to be interested in your relationship. Chris Luizo wants to know if you had any conversations with him about this record, and other people want to know if he knows, you know, that it exists.
Don't tell him. No, you know what happened? I'll give you a little bit of a story. We've sort of been circling each other for about 2 years. We've known each. You know, I've met him along the way, and you know, I've done this many times. But about 2 years ago, we were just talking about rhythm guitar, and he was talking about the guitars that he was finding interesting and playing, and we had actually sort of bonded. When my father got sick, he wrote my dad to get well soon note, and that would be about 4 or 5 years ago. And then along the way, we would just talk. When Lyle passed, I wrote Pat a little note, and then we just started to chat about the guitar, and then we kept saying, you know, well, it was Pat kept saying, we've got to get together. And I said, do you have the right number? Actually, we never spoke. It was just via email. And so then, so I said,
sorry, the UPS truck is
that
going
was
down the
UPS
driveway.
is here. They're delivering my Grammy. So Pat and I were talking, and then I saw him at the Detroit Jazz Festival. I stuck my head in the room. He said, how's Bucky? I said, he's hanging in there. This was 2019. And he said, we got to get together. And so we didn't get a chance. All hell broke loose in March of last year, and we started writing and talking to each other again. And after my dad passed, Pat wrote a beautiful piece just about my parents and sent it to me, and it was beautiful. It was just stunning. And then I was recording these things, so I would say, well, I'm learning your tunes. So I learned a couple of his tunes, and then about a year ago, I started recording them, and I said to Pat, I said, I think it's a record. I just about 3 weeks ago, I said, you know, I'm going to release the thing. He was, oh, wow. So it was all organic, the way things were going. They're good, right? You still fine?
Yeah.
So you know, people trying to break in now. You say, no, it's a big record party. So anyway, the record, once again, Better Days Ahead, available to stream on or download now at all digital music outlets. And what I want to tell you, you know, every Thursday night here on these portals, we do a little thing called It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 6 o'clock every Thursday. I take your requests on Facebook on the John Pizzarelli official page on Monday, and I collate them into a show. And then Jessica joins me also at 6 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, and we do a little show where I sing and play. So we hope you'll join us for that. And if you really like what we're talking about, but just rather not look at us, there's a radio show too called Radio Deluxe. It's on 60 cities around the United States, Canada, and Australia. And you can hear it anytime on mixcloud.com.
What you gonna do next?
How about James? Might as well play James.
Yeah, I love James.
This was written for, I think it's the name James refers to James Taylor. Everybody loves James Taylor. This Pat recorded this song on Off Ramp, and it's quite a little challenger, especially the bridge. Thanks a lot, Pat. So here is James.
I'm going to throw something at you. And you get those like, I mean, that's really, I mean, actually people were saying like, there's such a stretch there. Sandy McClellan said, it's such a big stretch. It's such a workout for your hands. I mean,
It is. It's that's.
And you got
that's
an
the
extra
beauty.
string.
Well, you know, it's the thing. It's also the thing about the music. It's so stunning. Is finding those things. You got to find your places and hope that it all works out. And it's just was something completely different for me. I've loved the music, and to have had the opportunity to sit down and explore it. And actually, as I was sending a few of these tunes to Pat at the very beginning, about a year ago right now.
That's brave.
Yeah, well, number one. And he was just, couldn't have been more generous. But then also said, well, hey, here's the book. And he emailed me the lead sheets. So I had all the music. And he said, I'm holding him to it. He said, he goes, when we meet in person, he's going to lay the physical book on me. So I'm very excited about that.
So Barbara Perot wants to say, you talked a little earlier, but did you really record this in Maddie's room? And you did. You just went direct right into the computer. Right.
Yeah, I had the guitar is here. I plugged that into a thing called an iRig provided by Brian Saunders. Then that gave me the thing to plug it into. This right in front of me is my iPad, and I went right into GarageBand. I flattened everything out, played everything flat made a few takes, and when I thought I had a good take, I would send them off via email to Rick Hayden in Illinois, and then he shined it up. He said, I think it should sound like this, and we listened to it, and I said, I think that's great. So we had constant sound, that sort of idea of the aura of the reverb behind us, but the guitar is still present in front. And there was no other way to do it. We weren't going into the world to record.
I mean, I honestly don't believe that you would have ever made this record in a million years if.
I mean, I'm lucky I've learned James at this point. But like then to have Rick say, you should look at Antonia, and then thinking, oh, well, what about Phase Dance? I've been listening to that song all my life. So it was really, to me, Pat Metheny is on the list of musicians that I hold in the highest regard. He's right up for me, Nat King Cole and Count Basie and George Van Eps and Oscar Moore. And to have all this music to explore has been amazing. I think I'll play two more things. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's 35 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to, what I'm going to do? I'm going to play Farmer's Trust.
Chip Simon wants to throw something at you too.
Okay. So remember, hey, the album's called Better Days Ahead, and it's available to stream or download now at all digital music outlets. I hope you'll buy in bulk and turn your friends on to it. And so for my brother, my brother's nickname was the Farmer. My mother's father nicknamed everybody. I was Buckaroo, of course, and Martin was the Farmer. So here's Farmer's Trust, as best as I can do it. I love that piece.
Beautiful.
Farmer's Trust.
Absolutely. A lot of people do.
I'm thrilled that you've joined me this evening for this little record release party. I'm John Pizzarelli. The record's called Better Days Ahead. And as I've said a million times, it's available to stream or download now at all digital music outlets. CD will be available for purchase next week at all major online music retailers. More information will coming on all my socials next week. And also next week, Hal Leonard Publishing will be releasing a note-by-note tablature of Phase Dance from my album, Better Days Ahead. And we'll post that as well when it's available. I'd like to thank Jeff Schradel and all the folks at Hal Leonard Publishing for that.
And Kurt Deutsch and everybody at Ghostlight Records.
Kurt Deutsch and everybody at Ghostlight, Joel and Morgan at Vector, and the whole digital team there for helping us wig this all out tonight. And Rick Hayden for co-producing the record with me, and to Jessica Molaski, from whom all good things come. So
I made the cover.
That's right. If you've seen the cover, should we get the cover? You want to get the... But if you've seen the cover, Jessica painted that, and it means a lot to me.
You know what my favorite song?
Yes, I'm going to close out with your favorite song, and this is a song that we close our radio show with.
Yes, and can you just explain a little bit how you make that train sound?
You just keep moving your thumb. And then in between that, you got to add the chords. So you'll see how that all works out. It's not on the a Tuck and Patty kind of. If you've seen him play Stevie Wonder stuff, Tuck Andrews, it's unbelievable. But anyway, Last Train Home. I'm John Pizzarelli. Thanks for coming out tonight to hear
Bravo.
selections from Better Days Ahead. Solo guitar takes on Pat Metheny. My thanks to Pat Metheny. I'm now going to turn off all the devices and have a glass of champagne. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.